for loungewear. It's always in for t-shirts. The colorful, crazy patterns of tie-dye might just be timeless. Today, it's a very cute and cost-effective way to match your mini-me. Studio 5 creative contributor Liz Welker brings tie-dye to Mother's Day. Okay, yep, a new medium for fabric tie-dyeing. What do we have today? This is so fun.
Oh my God.
Exciting. I'm picturing Avery and me just
winning
all day.
I am too. I mean, mothering's hard, so we got to take like the little tiny benefits that we get and it's matching,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
This is so fun because there's so many different ways that you can apply tie-dye to make it a little more grown up for your style and also meet your daughter where she's at. And it's so on trend. So it's so much fun. And we have a couple of different ways that you can apply it to different kinds of fabrics and match, and you can make them together, which is super fun, and then match together on Mother's Day. We love it.
I love that. And I like that you kind of updated this almost from loungewear in our homes during the pandemic to something that we can wear out in public and feel a little bit more comfortable with. And you've really spent like the last year experimenting with all the different ways to tie-dye.
Yes.
So tell us about some of that.
Very obsessed. Like, we love every method, and there's ways to do every single method for your kids all the way up to what you want to wear even out to work or out with the girls or whatever. There's so many ways to apply it.
Yeah, and swimsuits maybe even too.
Oh, we're obsessed with doing swimsuits.
Really?
Yes, synthetic, everything. You can do it all.
Okay, all right, let's start closest to me.
Yes.
Darling jumpsuit.
They're so cute. So these were white jumpsuits from Ivy City Co. I mean, Ivy City Co makes adorable clothes that you can match with your girls. These were white, like I said, and they are not 100% cotton. They have more synthetics. So you have to use a dye that is meant for synthetics. And what that typically just means is your application, you use heat.
Yeah,
so you boil it in a pot. Is that
so darling to see all of you guys matching? They look so cute on, and I like that each one is a little bit different.
Yes, you can't control how it's gonna go. So you use the same color dye, and then you kind of have to embrace whatever happens after that. And with this, to make it a little more grown up, we used a really light pastel, and we bound them pretty tightly so a lot of white would show through, and that kind of grows them up a little bit.
Now, you've got different techniques. So what did you do for this tie-dye specifically?
Right, so this was just what we call the bunch technique. We push it all together in a bunch, and then we wrap rubber bands around it.
And we saw some boiling water, so we're doing that over the stove.
Boil your synthetic dye, and then you boil your clothes in the dye bath, and that's how you can dye a synthetic fabric.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
And we're seeing, you're twisting, we're going in the boiling water here.
Right, exactly.
How long is it sitting in the boiling water?
We typically only go until we like the shade. We don't usually follow the package directions, but that's something, if you're new to tie-dye, just follow your package directions. Every package is gonna be different, but we just do it until we liked the shade, always knowing that when it's wet and unwashed, it's gonna lighten up. So make sure you keep that in mind as you're making your tie-dye.
So it did look a little bit darker in the video there. Then we washed it, we dried it, and we do have this really beautiful blush pink.
So nice.
Okay, let's move over to these sweatshirts. I think these might be my favorite, and I might just take them home with me for Avery and me.
Yes, for your girl gang. So these are cute sweatshirts. It's from Wild Berry Waves. They are a local screen printing company, and they have designs they've already made, and then they'll do custom designs, and they made these custom girl gang sweatshirts for us, but you can get them online on their website, wildberrywaves.com. And then we just did reverse dye. So all we did with these, we didn't even really bind them too much. We sprayed them with, it's just so cute. We sprayed them with our bleach and set them out in the sun. And that's what's gonna pull out your really white whites, is if you put them out on a sunny day. Lots of times your colors, you don't know how they're gonna go. Yes, you can see her there, she's scrunching it up. There's no rubber bands for this method. All you're doing is scrunching and then spraying on your bleach.
How much scrunching are we doing? Because I'm seeing that you're kind of taking different spots of the sweatshirt. It feels methodical.
It's very methodical, and that's why we've actually graduated to using a spray bottle when we apply our bleach, because especially when you have words, you want to really control where it goes so you can still read them. Yeah. So doing it in a spray bottle really helps control that. And as you can see,
look at the color change there.
Yes, and something we found, this is a cool tip, if your sweatshirt is 100% cotton, or at least has a mostly cotton fibers, If you have a little bit of a heather, you're going to get even more. So look for sweatshirts that have a little bit of a heather, and those are going to change to this really light white.
Okay, and what do you mean by a heather to it?
Yeah, so you know when you look and it's not a solid color, you can kind of see that it's yeah, it's like I don't know the terms. Yeah,
like
there's
a gray
something else going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so that's a heather. How long did you leave this out in the sun?
Sure. So it's usually within seconds, especially if it's a warm, sunny day. It'll change really, really fast. You don't want to go too long because it does break down the fibers if it's too long. So I would say don't go more than 5 minutes.
Oh, just 5 minutes. And then are we washing and drying again?
Yes. So you'll rinse it and then wash it by itself in your washer and dryer, and it'll be great.
And I love that that one's outside. That feels like a very easy,
so
controlled, messy situation.
Yes.
Okay. All right. These dresses, I'm a little bit more intimidated because it feels like there's a lot of colors and more going on.
There isn't. That's what's so incredible. So this is ice dye, and we used red, yellow, and blue, and that's it. So ice dye creates these swirls and mixing of colors. So something to keep in mind if you're doing ice dye is to either stick with warm colors, cool colors, or primary colors because they're going to blend so nicely. You don't want orange and purple because you're going to get browns. They'll muddle. So something like this, stick with colors that you know are going to blend well because they're going to blend a ton.
Yeah, did the girls love this one? Did they have a favorite?
Yes.
They look happy in all of them.
I think, so Sam's daughter wanted to wear the jumpsuit all day and Willa, my daughter, didn't want to take this off. So it's just so fun to watch their personalities. And
I feel like each of these fits a different personality of our kids.
100%, yes. So with this ice dye, I'll show you how you do it. It's really, really fun and super easy. And I think it gets intimidating because, like you said, it seems like, how did it apply like this on its own? But it does it all on its own.
All right, you have a whole setup over here. Take us through the process.
Okay, so you're gonna start with your fabric wet. And that's gonna help the water move through in a really organic way. And then you gotta always put on your gloves. I'm really bad about this. I always have blue fingernails. And then all you're gonna do, so what I have in here in my setup, I have a container and then a cooling rack over it because you don't want your fabric sitting in your dye.
I have one of those.
Right? Yes, you have a few. Yes, you do. You don't want it sitting in your dye because what's going to happen is you're going to pile your ice on top like this, and then you're going to sprinkle your powder dye. Now, you would cover it all around, but for TV, I'll just show you. So you're going to cover it with your ice, and then you take your powder dye. You can use any kind of powder dye. This is RIT dye.
Okay, and notice you've got plastic over your table, so we need to
always
prep
prepare
everything.
Your surface it's so smart. And then you're gonna just pour your powder dye in segments over the ice. And what's gonna happen is as that ice melts, it's gonna swirl with the dye and it's gonna go through the fabric and it's gonna drip into your container. But because your fabric isn't sitting in the container, it'll all drip right through.
Will it go through the back of the fabric?
Yes.
And it'll hit the whole dress?
The way through. And like I said, I didn't do a full pile. I usually, pile it on.
Okay.
And then shake your 3 colors over the top of it and then leave it. And let it completely melt. It takes hours. And do it kind of in sections like this. And then leave it. And so what's gonna happen, the ice is gonna melt, the dye is gonna soak through the shirt, and then you're gonna, this is the result.
We can see it completely covered. How much ice? That's a lot of ice.
Yes.
So this is the longest of the process that we've gone through.
It's very easy application, but you'd have to have a lot of patience with it, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, a question about ice cubes because I am a pebbled ice girl. Do I wanna put pebbled ice on or stay away from that?
We've actually done this in the winter. We did the same method with snow.
What?
So you can do it with any kind of, anything that melts. We piled snow on top, shook the dye on, and it was beautiful. So you could totally do pebble ice.
Oh, that is so fun. Okay, good to know. We all have different shapes ice, but you have a whole notebook, handbook that you've written for tie-dye.
Yes, we do. Our new book, The DIY Guide to Tie-Dye Style, comes out in just a month. You can pre-order it now on Amazon or on our blog, prettylifegirls.com. You can find updates on our Instagram, Pretty Life Girls. And it's gonna be so fun. It's got 20 tie-dye projects from wearables to home decor and gifts, everything.
Fun. That's a great gift for Mother's Day right there,
too.
too.
So excited. It's perfect.
Liz, congratulations and thank you so much.